Good Lord, does the kangaroo have him around his neck?
Yeah, he's got him in a rear
So
naked
the
choke.
the kangaroo is like got this
Oh,
dog.
damn.
Dude, man, runs up. They square
Whoa!
up. He
Oh,
punches
whoa.
that kangaroo right in the face. He's
Dogs, get out of there.
like, look, he's
Hey,
dumbstruck.
come at me.
He's dumbstruck. He
Oh
goes,
my
I'm out.
gosh.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jiu-Jitsu on the Train Tracks. Today we have a very special episode. Today we have the famous Julie McCoyne up in the house.
I am excited to be here with you guys. So this is the first and only podcast I've ever done.
She's heavily caffeinated, folks, if you can't tell.
Yeah, it's about 9 in the morning on a Sunday. We got here early to get some recording done and talk about specific things.
Have you seen how jacked kangaroos are? I'm certain they are by far one of the most muscular animals in the world.
Watch the kangaroo's face. He's like,
Hey!
Hey, oh.
What are you doing?
oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
He's like, some nerd.
He was not expecting a jab. He wasn't
Yeah,
expecting
no.
a jab at all. It wasn't really a jab. It was more like a right cross.
I wonder what happened for the dog to be in the kangaroos. Like,
Well, he had on some kind of thing that looked like a red cross, almost like a first aid kit. So maybe he was out hunting or something. And
He's probably jumping up on the kangaroo, and the kangaroo
well, no,
like, got him in a headlock.
no. Kangaroos do not like dogs.
Oh, so they'll actually go after them.
They will go
They'll be
after a
assertive
dog. I don't
about
know
it.
what it is
weird.
about dogs, but they'll try to drown
look
them.
like they might try to eat him.
I don't
Well,
know.
isn't a kangaroo kind of like a dog-rabbit hybrid?
That's what it
Is
feels
the word?
like.
Is it a marsupial? Is that the word?
That is the word. I have no idea what a marsupial is, though.
I don't know. I just have random facts in my
Mm.
head. I don't know if that's right, but they got a pouch.
That kangaroo does not look like the other kangaroo that got. Good Lord.
So do you see how he puts his entire weight on his tail and just? Can you
He is
imagine
not playing around.
this dude coming up to you?
Yeah, no thanks.
This is not an animal. This is like
That's like a person.
it's a person.
It's a science experiment gone wrong. is
Very
what it
wrong.
is, yeah.
Like somebody they put and pop in the wrong place.
Obviously, deers run from us, but
Right.
if you're like walking down the road and
This
there's
dude's
a
not running from you.
kangaroo, yeah, he's like, "You want to fight?"
Oh look! You see?
Oh,
Look at him try to drown a dog. Hey,
Oh,
back up,
God.
brother.
Oh God, come on.
Well, this is a kid. These are young.
Yeah, these are.
Oh, you see, he tried to kick him. He was literally about to kick that little
Baby
kid.
kangaroos and baby humans. Who's going to win?
I got a sneaking suspicion.
Little Johnny or little Kangaroo Jack?
Little baby Bojack over
he's
here.
just trying to be friendly.
No, he's not.
Ooh. Well, the kid was. The kid's offering him.
Hey, that little kid
oh my
deserved
God, look
it.
at him. He's
Oh my
fighting with
gosh.
Oh,
No!
God. This is it.
Dude,
This
he
is
deserved
awesome.
he deserved to get knocked out.
Oh, so last night I went for a run at the park, which is probably not the smartest thing to do. But still, I went for a run at the park and I saw this huge ass deer. It was like Bambi's dad. It was like 15 feet from me. Seriously.
What was Bambi's dad's name?
Oh God. Did he have a name?
I think he
I'm
had
gonna
a
be
name.
honest. I don't even remember seeing Bambi's dad in the movie.
Oh my God.
He
How
got
do you not?
he got shot.
Oh, I thought that was his
Sad.
mom.
No.
Oh,
they
maybe it
both
was
died.
his mom.
Oh shit! No, the mom did die. Yeah, the mom died, and then the
Mm.
dad. Did he die? At the end, there was a fire. I don't know. And honestly, I was kind of scared because for some reason, in my head, I was like, he's gonna attack me with those. Are they antlers?
Yeah,
That's what you call them.
They're
Yes.
antlers.
And I was just like, he's gonna like stab me with it. So, but he actually ended up running off into the woods, and then he like turned in the tree line and was just staring at me. I tried to get a video of him, but it was too dark, so I couldn't capture the magic.
Yeah.
It was. I felt like kind of in awe though. Like it was his like rack was that big.
So
Call it a rack.
yeah, it's a rack or a chair, whichever
Okay.
one you want to call it.
But yeah, so it was an interesting night.
So how late is late? Like what park did you go to? So that way we can let all the creeps know.
I know. I was like, as I was saying it, I was like, I'm not going to say which park I was at because I think about that. I think about, because I've done it a few times. I'm like, is some mother going to like watch me?
Some dude's
and
listening right now like, damn it, almost got her.
On Tuesdays.
So
On
close.
Tuesday nights at 9:30.
Tuesday
She'll be
night.
there.
No, it doesn't even matter. He's just going to be there every night until you show up again.
Oh, yeah.
Do
Killing it
you
with the
carry
cane.
weapons when you do this, or you just out there with car keys?
I have Jiu-Jitsu, man.
Oh, got you.
That's
Okay.
my tool. Come on. No, I'm kidding. No, it's not. I should.
How many classes you go to this week? I'm joking. I'm joking.
Hey. But no, I probably should carry some mace, but yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to help you.
Mace would help.
No, you're just going to mace yourself.
I will
James,
say
have
that.
you ever been maced before?
I have.
Oh,
It's
have
terrible.
It's awful. And you know what? It gets on the person that's spraying it too.
I know.
So you're not helping yourself.
Yeah, it's like
All you do is add
it's just like-
confusion to an already bad situation.
But would you still be in the mood to kill or capture?
Even more, because now I'm angry.
Oh, okay.
And you're disabled too. Like you can't spray mace without it getting on you. My older sister, she had it attached to her keys, like those ones you keep on your keys, and I guess she sat down on the couch or something, and it went off in her pocket. The entire house cleared out.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
Just from
gosh.
going off in her pocket.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Well, because you think it's a small closed-in space. It was like a living room. So, yeah, I've been maced before, and I had asthma.
That's probably not the story of how you got maced, but we'll take
Yeah,
it.
it's close enough. Oh, well, like police officers, to carry certain weapons, they have to have it used on them, is what I've heard. So, yeah, they got to be maced.
Did they? I wonder if they also need to be tased one good
Oh,
time.
yeah. You gotta
they
be
do.
tased,
You have
too.
to be tased, yeah.
Have
When
you guys
are they
seen this
doing
video?
that?
Oh,
Why
yeah.
are they doing that?
So apparently, I don't know. I mean, they would have had to have had permission from the parents to do this, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was an experiment. I think kids were like, "Oh, it can't be that bad." And they're like, "All right, well, this is a good opportunity to test your kids out."
Oh my God.
They freak out.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of times
What are you
that
just
see
not
they all
like?
signed waivers.
The parents are the real problem.
The parents are the real problem. You
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I'll let my kid get sprayed
Sure,
with mace.
go ahead. Little Timmy can take it.
Guaranteed, none of their parents got sprayed with mace before.
No.
So the topic for today's podcast is dating in jiu-jitsu. Should you do it? Should you not do it? And some thoughts on that. I guess for me, I have never had a positive experience dating a girl inside of a jiu-jitsu gym. I think you kind of like leave yourself open to awkwardness, and now something that you have that you really loved and enjoyed is tainted. Somebody's in there who maybe you were, infatuated with, and maybe you guys went on a couple dates, and then the next thing you know, she's with somebody else in there, and it's like, I think there are some people who are mature enough to rise above things like that. But if you're new to jiu-jitsu, it's a guaranteed recipe to get your ass never training again.
Yeah, I don't agree that you should date in jiu-jitsu. It's just, I like to keep a separation between church and state. And I don't want
Yeah.
anything to interfere with my training. I don't want there to be any reason to have bad blood, even if it's just two guys that don't get along. That makes it difficult to train. So I can only imagine what it's like when there's a heart on the line. That makes it even more awkward, weird, and uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Being a person who's been in the dating world the past couple years, I think that it could be done, but it's not something that I personally would look for at a gym, just because I do think when you come in to train, you want your mind focused on your training. You want your mind focused on what you want to contribute, to your jiu-jitsu family, and it helps you kind of make sure you stay in an energy of, excitement and there for the people. You don't have kind of you're a part of your brain thinking about this other person, what they're doing, what they're not doing, how they're interacting. I think that if you're secure, it depends on how much it impacts a person. It depends on who that person is and like what insecurities that they have. Like me personally, I think I probably could do it just because, I know who I am. I'm confident. I know like what my goals are in jiu-jitsu, and I know how to like separate the two as far as not letting myself get distracted. But I don't know. You just have to trust yourself, like how well you're able to balance that. But overall, me personally, I have a rule for myself. I don't date the men that I train with. And two, and I don't know how much this is true, but these are just like my thoughts that I tell myself, because there aren't a lot of women training, and just within our gyms, we don't have like a really high number. We're the minority, right? The women are. And so when I go into a gym, I don't want guys thinking that I'm there for anything but jiu-jitsu. So that way they also have the mind, like they're more excited to help me and my game and train with me if they're thinking that I'm there for jiu-jitsu rather than there to get attention from men. I feel like they're more motivated by seeing your passion for jiu-jitsu, and so it helps your game more. Yeah, they take you, and so, and so that is the mindset that I have, and I think others can see that and they appreciate it, as well. So
I like that. I mean, honestly, there are relationships in jiu-jitsu that work, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see it, especially at the mainstream level. You got Andre and Angelica Galveo.
Yeah.
You've got Maggie and Cyborg. I mean, there's a lot of jiu-jitsu couples out there, and they seemingly make it work, right? But it's a partnership, and it requires a level of maturity. There's going to be people that always join jiu-jitsu for the wrong reasons, but they might stay for the right ones. Mm-hmm. And it's up to your school, your instructor, the students that hold rank and seniority there to foster that culture, right? To like kind of set the example of what's appropriate and what isn't. And I think when it's something that you're not sure of, you should talk to somebody. You should ask. You should, be realistic and be forefront with, your thoughts and feelings with somebody that you trust.
Yeah, and even still, if you're mature enough to be able to handle those kind of situations, the challenge is still there because the other person may not be able to be mature enough to handle whether that situation works out or doesn't work out, or someone around. Someone could just have a jealous moment and say, oh, I wish I was with her instead of him. Mm-hmm. So then that spoils the chemistry of the gym. So there's a lot of things that make it easy for it to go wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think too, like, as the person, so like kind of going off what you're saying, like as the person that makes the decision to date someone, you can't control how another person's going to act. So even if I feel confident about me being able to balance it, the other person, I probably wouldn't choose to date someone that I didn't think would be confident in having that same balance. But since you don't necessarily know, you just have to understand that if you do put yourself in that situation where you're dating someone and then things don't work out, that you still have to deal with however they're going to, even if it's not bothering you, but they could still be bothered, and there could be potential drama around that. And so you just kind of have to, I guess take calculated risk if you think it's worth it.
There's not a whole lot of instant gratification in jiu-jitsu to begin with, right? And I think that's kind of like how the wrong relationship will start, because two people are attracted to each other but probably have no business being together. And what it is, it's like that selfish trigger. It's like, well, I'm single and this is the only group of people I hang out with, so let me,
mix business and pleasure.
Let's mingle a little bit. But you have to play the tape. You have to watch the film in your head, right? So make that choice in your head. Think about how the things will play out. Think about all the bad outcomes that could happen. And of course, there's always a chance of good. But I'm not saying that relationships don't work in jiu-jitsu. But what I will say is that you've got to really counsel with your friends and think twice before you do it.
Yeah, for sure. And and honestly, like a lot of the men that I've dated, you know, of course they haven't been in jiu-jitsu, that they haven't been a training partner, but you know, I've dated several guys for a few months at a time, and we still end up being friends and still end up, you know, like every once in a while reaching out, just, hey, how you been or whatever. So I do definitely think that it is possible to, you know, to have a successful relationship, and it is possible to, you know, date, break up, and there not be any problems. But like you were saying, you got to ask yourself, you know, is this person really worth the investment, you know, and take yourself through the scenarios of what's going to make it worth it. And then also you got to ask yourself, you know, when I come into the gym, what do I want my priority to be, and where do I want all of my focus and attention? And I think it's just typically it's just easier, you know, to keep the two separate.
I think also when you put jiu-jitsu first, it makes it easier for a couple to actually be successful, right? So if you have two people who love jiu-jitsu and they put that first in their lives, you have two people who are understanding of one another in that regard, you know, and they're going to support each other. And I think that's why you see some of these relationships, you know, in mainstream jiu-jitsu succeed because, you know, they both have put this first in their life, if that makes sense.
Right.
It could also be part of how they come together. Yeah, they may train together now, but they may have met prior to training together and decided, hey, let's train together and let's continue to grow. I think it's more of a problem when you try to get it homegrown. Like I start training and then I start scanning the room to see what's available. And then now I'm saying, hey, let me try to date this person. I think that's where you see more of it be maybe not as successful. Whereas if I'm training jiu-jitsu first, like you said, and someone else happens to be training jiu-jitsu and we meet that way in different schools, maybe we end up coming to the same school to train and maybe it changes into something else later.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that, you know, that could be the case. And then too, just for anyone that's thinking about dating someone that, you know, is already playing around with this idea or whatever, you know, obviously I think it's important to have that conversation with that person, like, you know, and play like, hey, you know, we care about our jiu-jitsu family. We care about training. You know, that's going to be first. So before you even obviously get into the relationship, you would want to have that kind of conversation. So like worst case scenario, we break up and then you start dating or I start dating someone else in the gym. How are we going to handle that? You know, and having that conversation first about how things are going to go down and making sure that you're, you know, is this worth, you know, pursuing? Do we like each other enough to pursue this? And, you know, how are we going to handle it when, you know, if things maybe don't turn out the way we plan or intend?
I think that's when it gets real toxic too, especially if you are dating somebody in jiu-jitsu, you decide to break up with that person and then either one of you start dating somebody else in the gym. Now you've brought a third person into it, and say the other person starts dating someone else. Now it's a fourth person involved. Now you got a gym full of people that are all dating each other.
And you are screwing over your instructor when
you
do that.
You
okay?
are.
You're screwing him over when you do that.
Because I can't pair these two together. I can't pair those two together.
Right.
It's tough when you're in that situation, but even on the outside, right? Like, it just goes back to thinking about your actions and how they affect the people around you, not just yourself, right? And a lot of people who don't stick around in jiu-jitsu forget that jiu-jitsu is a team sport, you know, and your personality, your energy, everything you bring to the mat spreads to your teammates.
A good thought is, what are you bringing to your gym? If it is a team sport. When it's time to compete, you may be going out by yourself, but there is a team of people standing behind you, cheering you on.
You didn't prepare for that tournament by yourself.
You didn't prepare by yourself. So you got to ask yourself, what am I bringing to this gym and what am I leaving behind? If I weren't here today, what would people look back and say, yes, I'm sad James isn't here anymore? or I'm glad James isn't here anymore. It's a better place with him. It's a worse place without him. You got to think about those kind of things based on what actions you take. And that's not just jiu-jitsu, that's everywhere.
Right. Yeah.
It's hard for people to look at themselves, man. And, jiu-jitsu is hard enough as it is. And when you start adding, like, that mental training we were talking about in the last episode, I mean, that's a huge part of just growth as a human. So you need to have, that honesty with yourself if you're going to succeed in anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And again, like, I'll just say, it could potentially be done, but yes, at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, like, so say if you were in a situation where, you guys broke up, it's definitely possible to keep it, professional, or to maintain your energy. But when your emotions are involved in that kind of thing and you're going through, that type of transition, you will be using part of your energy to make sure you keep that side of you in check. Make sure you're going to have to be keeping, don't get jealous and, don't matter. And, so that you are going to be spending a piece of your energy and time focusing on managing that. It's possible to manage it and everything go fine, and the same with the other person. But yeah, at the end of the day, you just got to ask yourself, like we were saying, is that what you want? Is that what you want to spend your energy on when you come into the gym? Where do you want your focus and attention to be?
I just think that would be so weird and so difficult to deal with if you had to roll with that person after you broke up. Like, what is that like? Like, your first thought is like, is he going harder on me than normal? Is he mad?
Why didn't you call me back?
He choked me pretty quick. I think he might be trying to take out some aggression on me.
Yeah. I think it could I think it's probably not quite as weird as you think, and you probably get over it pretty quickly. It really just depends on the person. Me personally, I think I could get over it pretty quickly and it wouldn't be that big of a thing, but I know myself and I know,
The older you are, I think the easier it is to.
Are you trying to say that I'm old?
No, not at all. I swear.
What are you saying there, Jeff?
But no. I think there's a difference between a 20-year-old training and a 30-year-old training.
Right. Yeah.
So when you put a 20-year-old in that situation, I'm hoping that this kind of podcast would really help kind of shed some light on the situation. Mm-hmm. Whereas people our age, they've already made those mistakes and have had those consequences.
Yeah.
So it's important to share that with the new people, I think anytime you reveal things about your past or, and under the right circumstances, it gives people permission to let their guard down and kind of be honest with where they're at. Yeah. That's important to building relationships in general, too. If you want a friendship, you've got to be real with people, and you have to give trust to get trust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's go ahead and say we'll just give a final answer, okay? We'll just put a black and white answer over this. So, dating in jiu-jitsu, yes or no, James?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Okay, Julie.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Oh man, I'm gonna let me think. I'm gonna say do not do it.
Not.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and follow us on our various platforms. This has been another segment of the Jiu-Jitsu by the Train Tracks. Thank you, Julie, for coming to hang out with us.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you back.
For sure.
Maybe.
Psych.
Maybe. I give great advice, all right? Great advice. Just stares, just blank stares, okay.